Good morning everyone, this is BremSter and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Tip of the Iceberg by GDC. This is a fog puzzle, so I've been unable to play with this grid, but my testers have said this is good. The rules are not in a way that I would normally state them, but that's okay. Yeah, I like trying to keep my rules wording consistent and everything on the channel so that there's less questions. I'm also not a fan of the phrase fog of war. Where is the war in this? It's a fog puzzle. I don't feel fog of war is necessarily appropriate, and it puts a negative connotation on it that I don't think is needed. I know that a lot of this stuff originally came from sort of battlefield games and stuff like that, where fog of war is the concept of you can't see sort of enemies out of your line of sight, but that's not what we're doing here. There are no enemies in Sudoku. There's nothing to reveal. That fog of war, it just doesn't feel appropriate. It's a fog Sudoku. I'm not a fan of the term. Yeah, a lot of terms we use in many languages came from original militaristic backgrounds. That doesn't mean we need to keep promoting that militaristic background. Anyway. So Tip of the Iceberg by GDC. I am recording way in advance for me going away. So I'm just trying to get through puzzles as I can. So I've got no news to bring you. So let's look at the puzzle. So normal Sudoku rules apply, which means in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We have fog of war, which means the grid is covered in fog, completely covered in fog. And placing a correct digit will reveal clues in the surrounding 3x3 area. So if I was to place a clue here, all of the cells touching that clue, including itself, would have the fog revealed, and then you would be able to see what clues are hidden behind it. But yeah, we've got no clues in the grid at all, or no revealed digits in the grid at all. So that's going to be interesting. But it does mean that as we place more digits, now the whole point isn't to just randomly put digits in to reveal areas. We've got to logically deduce where we start. Rotational pairs. If the grid is rotated 180 degrees, the matching cells add to 10. E.g., row 2, column 3, and row 8, column 7 equal 10. Well, plus row 8, column 7. So the sum of those two digits would be 10. The sum of those two digits would be 10. So rotating around the center. And then arrows. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow circle. All arrows have a single digit total and cannot branch. Cannot branch, cross, so the digits, the arrows will not split. They will not cross, so there'll be no two arrows crossing each other, or share a cell with another arrow, which is... Okay, so the arrows cannot cross each other at a point in any way, and they will not share a cell, so no two arrows will sort of end at the same point or anything. Okay, so that's what we know. So I need to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, the important thing to note here is this is going to be a 5. Now, the way to know this is we do know in box 5, because we're rotating on a point, I don't think I can actually pencil mark a point in the center of a grid. So we're going to be rotating basically around a point in the center of that circle. So that circle is basically your rotational center. Think of it like a lazy Susan. Now, because we're rotating around that point, what we do know is that this cell plus this cell are going to sum to 10 because that's your rotational symmetry. This cell and this cell are going to sum to 10. This cell and this cell are going to sum to 10. And this cell and this cell are going to sum to 10. So all of those cells are going to sum to a total of 40. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. But we know an entire box of a Sudoku must sum to 45 because they contain the digits 1 through 9 and the digits 1 to 9 add to 45. So we can deduce that this is a 5. The other way of doing it is if we know that that pairs with that, that pairs with that, that pairs with that, and that pairs with that, and they must all sum to 10, if I put 5 into any of those cells, what do I put on the other side? It would have to be another 5 and they're all in the same box. Whichever way you do it, a 5 goes into the middle. Another way that people are probably going to think about it is 5, if you rotate the grid, then it maps onto itself and 5 plus 5 is 5. But I feel that that's a little bit more sloppy because you're not adding it to itself, sort of. The central cell is not part of the rotational symmetry. It ends up being part of the rotational symmetry because of math, but yeah, it's a little bit weird. Okay, so what do we have here now? Now, we do know that arrows have a single digit total and cannot branch, cross, or share a cell with another arrow. So this must be, can I use a dark grey? It kind of stands out. Actually, I'm going to use a different colour. I'm going to make it, is blue good? No, not really. What about red? Red's fine. Okay, we know this is going to be the head of an arrow, because if the arrow continued in any other way, then because this goes into here and this goes into here, if the arrow continued in any other way, these arrows, if it didn't end here, they'd be crossing or intersecting or sharing a cell. So that must be the head of the arrow, and they must go in like that. Now this means this is a 3-cell arrow. So this is going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9, because the minimum I could put in here is 1, 2, 3, which would make this 6. And it can't, because they're a single cell digit total, or a single digit total, it must be 6, 7, 8, 9. Now these two digits are the same, so this is 6, 7, 8, 9, but I need to be able to figure out more than that somehow. I mean, I know that digit goes down here somewhere. Now, this could be 1, 2, 3 with these being 6. It could be 2, 3, 4 with these being 9. It could be 1, 2, 4. What am I missing? Oh, it's the rotational symmetry. So this rotational symmetry, I need to keep thinking, right, so this is 1, 2, 3, or 4 because it's the rotational symmetry of that. Oh, okay. There's going to be some interesting stuff going on here, I think. I need to, oh, how's that rotational symmetry going to work? If this is 2, 3, 4, this is 9, this is 1, and that would work. Now, if this is 6, this is 1, 2, 3. And if this is 1, 2, right, this can't be 6, because these are rotationally symmetrical with these. And if this is 6, this would be 1, 2, 3. But this being 1, 2, 3 would make these 7, 8, 9. But if this is 7, 8, or 9, this can't be 6. So these can't be 6. If this is 1, 2, 4, there's no 3 here. 1, 2, 4 here makes this 9, 8, 6, which means these can't be 7. Wow, this is fascinating. Now, if this is 8, it's 1, 2, it can't be 1, 2, 5, so it'd be 1, 3, 4, which means there would be no 2 here because 1, 3, 4 is rotationally symmetrical with 9, 7, 6, and 9, 7, 6 doesn't leave the 8 here. These are both 9. That's really cool. Now, how do I make up 9 here? Because this is now a 1 to be rotationally symmetrical, and these have to sum to 8. They're not 1, 7. If they're 2, 6, then this is 4, 8. If they're 3, they can't be 3, 5, and they can't be 4, 4. This is 2, 6, and 4, 8. 1, 2, 6. I can't use 1, sorry, this can't be 1, 7. It could be 2, 6. It can't be 3, 5 because the 5 is gone. So the 2, 6 here makes this 4, 8 because that is going to be symmetrical with that and that is going to be symmetrical with that. That is absolutely fascinating. This 9 puts a 1 here. This is going to be absolutely weird, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. So these are now 3 and 7 because they are symmetrical. And what are these digits and how do these arrows continue? So this arrow here, let's draw arrows. Not with this. I need to draw arrows, I think. Maybe green will work. So this arrow cannot stop. Single digit in that arrow, so all arrows have a single digit total. So this arrow cannot stop. Because if this was the circle, these would be the same total. So this arrow has to grow. But it could stop there, I think. Now this arrow can't stop. So it goes to either this cell or this cell. I can't put an 8 on down here. Because if I put an 8 on this arrow, it'd have to be 8, 1. Even if I put an 8 down here, it'd have to be 8, 1, 9. And while I can put 9 in one of these, and in fact have to, because I have to put a 1 in one of these, I can't do an 8 down here. So there is an 8 up here, which puts a 2 down here. Now, what are the 4 digits I've got in this column? This may not be the way to do it, but I'm doing it anyway. 2, 4, 6, and 8. So they're all the odd digits, because these are even digits, because these are the odd digits. That makes sense. Now, if this is 2, 4, if this is 2, 4, this is 6, 8, and that could work. But I can't put 8 down here. I know this. So I can't put 2 up here. Now, if I put 2, 6 down here, yeah, I'm not sure why that would be a problem. Minimum I can put onto this arrow is 3. Hang on a minute. The minimum I can put onto that arrow now is 3 and 4. And I can't use 3 and 4 because 4 is not available. So the minimum I can put onto this arrow is 3 and 5. And it must have a 3, because otherwise I can't use 1, I can't use 2. There must be a 3 on this arrow, which means there must be a 7 up here. Now 3, 5 or 3, 6. So this is 3, 5, 6 only, which means up here I've got 4, 5, 7 only. And this must end either here or here with either an 8 or a 9. Which is going to put a 1 or a 2 up here. Why can't the arrow end there? If the arrow doesn't end here, this is a 4. The arrow must end here. Because if the arrow doesn't end here, what am I putting in that cell? Because I couldn't use 1, 2, or 3, so it'd be at least 4, and this would be at least 2, 4, 4, and 2, 4, 5. It doesn't work. The arrow must end here. This must be the circle of the arrow. So, if it's 2, 4, this isn't a 9. Because if it's 2, 4, this is 6, and if it's 2, 6, this is 8. And it can't be 6. This is the 8, and this is 2, 6. And 2, 6 means this is 4, 8. The 8 here means this is a 2. There's no 6 on this. This is 3, 5. And the 3, 5 sums to 8, and I can't put the 8 there. So that has... What? That's wrong, but I can't see why it's wrong. What did I remove from that? Oh. I need to reprove this. No, I don't. That's all correct. I can't use 1, 2. It's got 3. I can't use 4. And I can't use 6. Oh, this arrow could continue and have a 1 on it. Fog puzzles do melt my brain, but this is 3, 5. So there's an 8 or a 9, but if this is 3, 5, these are 7, 5. There's no 4 in them. This is a 2. Right, so there has to be a 1, but I don't know that. There's either an 8 here, or this arrow has a 1 coming off it, and then there's a 9 somewhere. But I'm not sure how... I don't like the fact that I discovered something by mistake. So what is this triple? This is 1, 3, 6. So and I can't put the 1 there, which matches up for me not being able to put the 9 there. Or the 1 being here matches up with the 9 down here. That works. Because these are, they better be 4, 7, and 9, which they are. There's no 4 there. No 4 there means no 6. Right, this is a 3. So this is a 1, 6. So this is a 4, 9, and this is a 7. Okay. How do I grow this? Okay, that's revealed this cell. So if this was 3, 5, this 7 has revealed this cell. So I now know that this isn't the head of the arrow. So the head of the arrow is either if the head of the arrow was here, I jumped the gun. That's what I did. I didn't do Sudoku fast enough. I'm sorry, everyone. And hopefully you didn't make this mistake. Placing this 7 has meant that I can't put the head of the arrow here. So this can't be 3, 5 with an 8 here, and it can't be 3, 5 with an 8 here. So this arrow, and by the way, I can get rid of all of this, get rid of my colors. This arrow must continue because I can't put 8 in either of those cells. So this is something to 8, but this can't be the head of the arrow. So this now must be a 1, which reveals where the head of the arrow is and makes this a 9. Now, rotational symmetry, that cell reflects to there, which makes that the 9, and that cell reflects there, which makes this a 1. That makes this a 6 and this a 1. This 9 makes that a 4 and that a 9, which I could have done by rotational symmetry, but I'm not gonna when I can avoid it. Okay, now. And I can get rid of the drawing on this arrow. Sorry about the error, but, you know, human. Okay, so if I don't put a 2 on this arrow, so if there's no 2 on this at all, then I couldn't use 1 or 3, so this would be 4, 5, this would have to be 9, and it can't be. So there must be a 2 on this arrow. The rotational symmetry of that is down here and puts an 8 in one of those. Now, if this is an 8, I think we're broken, because if this is an 8, this would have to then, this couldn't be the bulb of the arrow, because they would be the same digit. So if this was 8 and this was the bulb, then these are both 8 and that's broken. If this is 8 and this is a continuation of the arrow, it'd have to be 1 and it can't be. So this isn't the 8, this is the 8, which means that this is your symmetrical 2. Now, very, very clever deductions in this puzzle. Now, if this was a 4, this would be a 6. If this is a 5, this would be a 7. If this is a 6, this would be an 8, and that's as high as I can go. So that means this digit here is also either 4, 5, or 6. But this digit here is the symmetry of that. So this is either 2, 3, or 4. Is there a problem here? Because if this is 4, 6... this is 6. Right, if this is 4, 6, if this is 2, 4, 6, hang on, isn't this just broken? If this is 2, 4, 6, then this is 6, 4, and this is a 10. So this can't be 4, 6. If this is 2, 5, 7, so this, hang on. But that not being able to be 4 means this isn't able to be 6, and this isn't able to be 4. Now, if this is 2, 5, 7, that makes this 5, 3, and this is 8. And it can't be. This can't be 5, 3, 8. So this is 6, This is 8. That's beautiful, by the way. That is absolutely stunning use of symmetry. I adore that. And just going through that again, if this was 5, 7, this would be 5 and 3, which would make this 8, which doesn't work. That is absolutely stunning. So this is 6, this is 8. The symmetry of that makes this 4. The symmetry of this makes this 2. 4 and 2 makes that 6. That is really, really, really cool. And it's revealed that digit. Is there more Sudoku I can do? Please? 2 is in one of those. 6 is in one of those. No. Wait a minute. 6 here puts 4 here. So we know there's an arrow here, but that's got a minimum now. The minimum I could put onto this, if I don't put a 3, now again, this can't be the bulb of this arrow, or they're the same digit in the same box. So this goes to at least here. If I don't put a 3 onto this, because I don't have 1, 2, 4 available, this would be, what, 5, 6, and that doesn't work. So there is a 3 on this. So there is a 7 in here. Now, the minimum I could put in here is 3, 5 or 3, 6. Now, I don't know where it grows. It could grow to here, it could grow to here, it could even grow to here. Except I can't put 8 or 9 down here, but I could put 8. Ooh, wait a minute, I'm not sure about this. Now, this is just a lot of little fiddly arrow deductions. Now, if this is 3, 5, if this is 3, 5, where do I put the 8? I couldn't put it in any of those cells because of the pointing 8. So this isn't 3, 5, unless it then picks up a 1 somewhere. And I can't put a 1 in any of those. So this is not 3, 5. This is 3, 6. And it has to then jump to a 9. Because I can't do 3, 5, 1. Because I can't put a 1 there because of that one. And I can't put a 1 in any of those. So this is 3, 6. And now has to jump to a 9. And I can't put 9 in any of those. So that's the 9. That is cool. And the 6 here, of course, means that this is the 3 and this is the 6. This 3... Well, this 6 reflects to here, making that the 4, the 3 makes that the 7, and the 9 makes that the 1. This 3 looks into the middle now, and I can start resolving these. That makes this 3, 7. The 6 looks in, making this 2 and this 6, and the reflection makes that 4 and that 8, or I could have used the 4, or there were all sorts of stuff I could have done. These are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, and 8, which of course means these are 2 and 5, which is good because they are. Except this 2 makes this the 5, which reflects making this the 5, which makes this 2, which reflects making this 8. Now these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 7, which reflects making these hopefully 3 and 9, which they are. This is really, really cool. Now this digit has a high minimum because it can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it could be 5, it can't be 6, 7, 8, or 9. It's just a 5, which means this is a 5. Now, this is a 5 on an arrow that we know does that because of the shape of the arrow. We can see the lines. That line goes to there, that line goes to there. So we've got that. Now, these digits in the column, well, we know there's a 1 up here by Sudoku. Actually, we know there's a 1 right there by Sudoku. So if I'd done Sudoku, I wouldn't have needed to do any figuring about the arrow. But these are 2 and 3 by just raw Sudoku. This 1 makes this a 9, which has given me another arrow. But I'm going to do this first. Because if this is 1, 2, 5... 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 5 is 8. And if this is 1, 3, 5, it's 9. So this digit here is 1 or 2, which is the rotational symmetry of that. I've probably missed a whole heap of rotational symmetry clues. Like these are the 7, 8, which are the rotational symmetry of those, which are not fully jumping out at me yet. But if this is a 1, this would have to be an 8, and it can't be. So this is 2, this is 7. That 7 means this is the 3, which means this is the 2, which means this is the 8, which means this is the 7. The 2 means this is the 6, which means this is the 4, which means this is the 8, which means this is the 2. This 2, of course, means this is the 8, or I could have used math. The 7 here means this is the 5, and this is the 7. I can probably, now that the fog is completely lifted, the 2 looks down, making this 3. I can probably ignore the rotational symmetry, but we will find out. The 3 makes this 5 and this 3, and I've got all of that resolved. This 7 looks up, making this 1 and this 7. I can use the rotational symmetry, or I can just use the 3 looking down to make that 9 and that 3. Where am I going to look now? Let's look in this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now that may mean this is 4 or 6. Well, actually, I'll use that 6 to make that 4 and that 6. I'll use the rotational symmetry. This 4 is symmetrical with that, which makes that 6, which makes that 4. This is a, let's use this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Maybe. So that's symmetrical with there. So that's 5 or 3. And that's symmetrical with there. So that's 5 or 3. And it's not 5. So that's 3. That's 7. There was probably another way of doing that. That's 5. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 and 8. So these better be 2 and 7, which they are for the box. That 7 makes that the 2 and that 7. That is symmetrical there. So that is the 8. That is the 3. These are now just resolvable by Sudoku. 1, 2, 3. I need to put a 4 in the box. I can't put it there. That's the 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives me a 9. I'll use the symmetry. The 9 reflects to there, making that the 1. This 6, wait, no, that 6 reflects there. That 4 reflects there, making that the 6. And that is the correct solution to Tip of the Iceberg by GDC. And I am solver number 69 in 9.6 days. Double nice. That's really cool. 69 in 9.6. I couldn't have planned that better if I tried, and I didn't try. That was really cool. I liked that puzzle. By the time this comes out, it'll have, as I said, it's going to be over a week after I record, probably. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out the order of things. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that puzzle. Yeah, wrapping your head around rotational symmetry can take a while. And while a lot of people are going to say this cell is just symmetrical, rotationally symmetrical with itself, I much prefer to use the summing to 10 in this box, proving that this has to be a 5, either through the 45 math or the fact that you can't have 2 5s summing to 10 in the same box. It's just a little bit more logical elegance to me, and I just wanted to prove it. But those arrows are really nice. I like it a lot. This was a very nice puzzle. And yeah, I like these nice fast solves at the moment. So thank you, GDC. Very, very nice puzzle. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. I hope you're enjoying the channel. And as always, good luck with your solving.